Elbone here, and what better way to pass the time here during the F1 summer break than to hand out some mid-season F1 awards, because I have literally nothing better to do with my time right now, considering F1 rudely stole my entire personality from me for the month of August. So, without further ado, welcome to the first ever Bony Awards! Get it? It's like the Tony Awards, but Formula Bonafide and handed out to F1 spians instead of thespians. The Bony Awards exist to honor and congratulate F1 drivers for accomplishing feats meaningful, pointless, positive, and negative that I have deemed worthy of the distinction of earning the most calcium-rich trophy in all of award shows, the Bony Award. And the best part about the Bony Award, it is technically a participation trophy because every single driver gets one. Sorry, guy with a pickup truck who thinks participation trophies are ruining America, but I just cannot resist handing out Bony Awards to every driver in F1 because I love all them. Also, because I have literally nothing else to do right now. If all goes according to plan, aka if you folks actually enjoy this, the Bony Awards will be handed out semi-annually, once during the summer break and once during the winter break, so make sure you like this video and leave a comment if you want the Bony Awards again at the end of this F1 season and beyond. Without further ado, presenting your host for the first ever Bony Awards, former Haas F1 team driver Kevin Magnussen. What?
He's not here.
Kevin Magnussen canceled on us? What do you mean we never booked him and he doesn't even know we exist and my Haas delusion syndrome convinced me to believe he was hosting? Curse you, Haas delusion syndrome! Fine, I guess I, Elbone, will host. Elbone! Without further ado, here are my mid-season F1 Bony Awards for F1 drivers. The Bony Award for Best Qualifying Lap goes to Red Bull Racing driver Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen entered the Japanese Grand Prix having not been on pole position since the 2024 Austrian Grand Prix 16 races prior. That was a pretty massive drought for a driver who started last season off with 7 consecutive pole positions, tying the record for most consecutive pole positions to start a season. Pole prospects were not looking good for Max in Japan either, as he didn't finish higher than P5 in practice, and then looked well off the pace of the pole favorite McLarens in Q1 and Q2. But Max went full Mad Max in Q3, stunningly doing a perfect lap to take pole and end his pole position drought on his way to winning the Grand Prix. Next, the Bony Award for Worst Use of DRS goes to Alpine rookie Jack Doohan. Also, at the Japanese Grand Prix, Jack Doohan did not manually deactivate his DRS upon entry into Turn 1, which caused him to have a super hard and embarrassing crash from which he fortunately walked away uninjured. This crash occurred because Suzuka's lone DRS straight uniquely ends at a turn entry, not a heavy braking zone like most DRS straights, meaning the DRS button has to be actively pressed rather than the brake pedal in order to deactivate DRS while staying on the optimal racing line. Doohan did not press it, meaning his rear wing stayed open while he made a turn, and with the rear wing open, his car did not have enough downforce to make that turn, so he crashed. Alpine blamed Doohan's inexperience for the crash, though there are rumors that Alpine's simulator did not properly train Doohan for this little quirk of Suzuka's. Either way, it was the worst use of DRS I've ever seen. You can't park there! Next, the Bony Award for fooling everyone goes to Ferrari driver Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton kicked off the 2025 F1 season and his career at Ferrari by finishing a dreadful P10 at the season opening Australian Grand Prix. This had all of us prepared for a 4th straight depressing Lewis Hamilton season after we'd been built up to believe that this could be finally once again Lewis's year with how well Ferrari did in 2024. Then, Lewis went and won the very next race, the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race. This had all of us now prepared to celebrate a season during which Lewis Hamilton would once again be fighting for podiums and race wins. Then, Lewis got disqualified from the following day's Chinese Grand Prix before proceeding to only finish on the podium one more time during the entire rest of the first half of the season, and barely at that, as it was at the Miami Grand Prix sprint. Lewis's Chinese Grand Prix sprint win absolutely fooled all of us into thinking that he was going to have a good season, and if you say you weren't fooled by it, you're lying. Next, the Bony Award for sneakiest driver goes to Williams' Alex Albon. This dude is easily the most under-the-radar driver on the entire grid this season, and here's why. Did you know Alex Albon is currently P8 in the World Drivers' Championship after the first half of the season, and also the highest-placed driver not on McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull, even though he is ahead of a Red Bull driver. Sorry, Yuki. I had no idea until I looked at it while researching this video. Albon is wiping the floor with his more experienced teammate Carlos Sainz, a multiple race winner, And Albon also has an absurd 3 top 5 results thus far in 2025, despite being in a Williams. Heck, if Albon did not have back-to-back top-back DNFs in Spain, Canada, and Austria, he could even be ahead of Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli right now. Alex Albon, you now have my attention for the second half of the season. If you're looking for a pair of sunglasses that are high quality and affordable, I've found them for you by way of my sponsor, Goodr Sunglasses. Not only are all Goodr sunglasses 100% polarized, made of high quality yet lightweight materials, and specially designed to not slip or bounce while on your face, but Goodr sunglasses also start at just $25, yes, $25, so they do not break the bank, and your day will not be ruined if you happen to lose them. I lose my sunglasses all the time. That's why I'm not wearing my Goodrs right now. But because they're only $25, I'm going to buy another pair. Because of all that, it should be no surprise that Goodr sunglasses have 50,000 plus 5-star reviews. And if you somehow aren't yet convinced that you need Goodrs, they come in a ton of styles and colors, so you're sure to find something you'll love. And they come with a 30-day money-back guarantee if you are not 100% satisfied, so you have truly nothing to lose by giving them a shot. If you want to support the show and try a pair, Goodr is giving Formula Bone listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/fbone and use code FBONE for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/fbone and use code FBONE for free shipping. Next, the Bony Award for Best Rebound goes to VCarb rookie Isaac Hadjar. In his first ever F1 race, Isaac Hadjar crashed on the Australian Grand Prix formation lap in what was a wildly depressing moment for him, as well as for all of us, as the F1 broadcast forced us to all watch him cry all the way back to the paddock because they have no chill. It would have been super easy for this incident to rattle Hadjar so hard that he lost confidence in his abilities, but that is not what happened. Hadjar would go on to finish P8 just 2 race weekends later in Japan, and then rack up 4 more points finishes in the following 6 Grand Prix to cement himself as one of the top 2025 rookies. It must have been that pep talk from Lewis's dad. Next, the Bony Award for Biggest Victim is Mercedes' George Russell. George Russell has been on the receiving end of arguably the 2 biggest on-track driver meltdowns of the first half of the 2025 F1 season. First, George was the victim of Max Verstappen's Spanish Grand Prix meltdown that resulted in Max intentionally ramming George in what was maybe the single most shocking moment of the first half of the season. Then, George was the victim of Charles Leclerc's Hungarian Grand Prix meltdown, where Leclerc screamed at his race engineer and then moved under braking on George in their battle for P3, almost knocking both of them out of the race. Honestly, those incidents were great PR for George, who has always had a reputation as being the type of driver who might pull those moves himself. So much so that he was literally portrayed that way in the F1 movie. Next, the joint Bony Award for the most cursed driver is going to both Red Bull Racing driver Yuki Tsunoda and former Red Bull Racing driver and current VCarb driver Liam Lawson. Why? Because these are the 2 drivers with the misfortune of having had to drive the second Red Bull car this season, aka the most cursed car in F1 history that ruins the career trajectory of anyone foolish enough to drive it. Just how cursed is the second Red Bull car? Max Verstappen is currently in P3 in the World Drivers' Championship with 187 points, and in supposedly the same car as Max Verstappen, and over the same race span, Liam and Yuki have combined to score 7 points in the second Red Bull car. 187 to 7. There is no shot that Liam and Yuki are that bad. That car just simply cursed them. Next, the Bony Award for Best Moment undeniably goes to Sauber's Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg made all of us cry on a Sunday morning when he snapped his F1 record streak of 239 race starts without a podium finish at the British Grand Prix. He did this by driving arguably one of the greatest drives in F1 history to finish P3 from an absurd P19 on the starting grid, which was literally last place as Franco Colapinto retired from the race before it even started. I honestly still cannot believe this happened, and I frequently go back and watch he and his team celebrating this achievement after the race whenever I need a little pick-me-up. Now, there's only one thing left for Hulk to do: snap his current F1 record streak of 241 race starts without a race win. Next, the Bony Award for Mr. Boomer Bust goes to Alpine driver Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly only has 4 Grand Prix points finishes this season, but when he does finish in the points, he tends to finish well inside them with results of P8, P7, and even a P6 in the first half of 2025, despite the fact that he has finished outside the points at every other Grand Prix aside from a P10 in Belgium. Pretty absurd and worthy of the title, Mr. Boom or Bust. Next, the joint Bony Award for the best driver in Formula One, despite what points, race results, statistics, or even the eye test might say, are both of Haas F1 team's two drivers, Esteban Ocon and Ollie Behrman, who are both future world champions with Haas F1 team. Sorry, my bad. I let my Haas delusion syndrome take hold of me again there for a second. I'm okay now. Unfortunately, though, Bony Awards cannot be taken back once they're given, so these will stand. They actually can be taken back, but I still have Haas delusion syndrome, so I'm not taking them back. Next, the Bony Award for a hottest seat goes to Alpine's Franco Colapinto. Franco Colapinto was brought in to replace Alpine rookie Jack Doohan after 6 scoreless Grand Prix for Jack, and now Franco himself has gone scoreless through 8 Grand Prix without ever finishing higher than the P13 Jack Doohan was able to manage. You have to feel like Colapinto is ripe for being replaced by either Doohan, which would be hilarious, or one of Alpine's 500 reserve drivers that they can't stop signing for some reason. Next, the Bony Award for safest seat goes to Aston Martin's Lance Stroll, obviously. This dude's dad literally owns the team, which is why he's even still in Formula One. Not sure a seat gets safer than your dad owning the team, though I do still put some merit in my conspiracy theory that Aston Martin are setting Lance Stroll up to medically retire on account of his hand injury whenever they can eventually sign Max Verstappen to replace him to reunite Max with Adrian Newey. Just saying. Next, the joint Bony Award for Best Rookie of this Generation goes to both Aston Martin rookie Fernando Alonso and Sauber rookie Gabby Bortoleto. It's not up for debate that Fernando Alonso is the best rookie of this generation, just given everything he's been able to accomplish in F1. That is, of course, unless you're Fernando Alonso, who believes that Sauber rookie Gabby Bortoleto is the best rookie of this generation after seeing his P6 in Hungary in a Sauber. My best rookie of this generation, claiming that there's another one, forces me to declare them both the best rookie of this generation. Now, Fernando Alonso is Gabby Bortoleto's manager, so he could maybe potentially, be a little biased, but I'm just going to choose to believe that he was being completely impartial when he said that. Before we move any further, no award show would be complete without one of those mega depressing in memoriam presentations. So let's just get that out of the way now. Let us now pay homage to the F1 drivers, team principals, and Grand Prix that have left the grid in the first half of this F1 season. And we're going to do so via a slideshow and some depressing music performed by me, L-Bone, and my brother and former Formula Bone producer Jeff. Jack Doohan, Red Bull Liam Lawson, V-Carb Yuki Tsunoda, Aston Martin team principal Mike Crack, Alpine team principal Oliver Oakes, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, the Formula One Amazon Web Services Gran Premio del Made in Italy e dell'Emilia Romagna. Thank you. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy, just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring so fast because they've streamlined the process so your business can get back to business faster. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/FBone. Just go to Indeed.com/FBone right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/FBone. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Next, the Bony Award for most depressing driver is easily Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. Watching Leclerc yell at his team over team radio in Hungary was both depressing and cathartic. It felt like it was me yelling at Ferrari for screwing over Charles Leclerc year after year after year after year after year after year after year. I made sure to include 1 year for each of the 7 years he's been at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc is undoubtedly a good enough driver to win a World Drivers' Championship and very clearly wants to be the guy to end Ferrari's championship drought, but they are not helping him out this year, just like they're never helping him out any year, and it's super depressing to watch. It bums me out, man. Ferrari, please help out Leclerc. Next, the Bony Award for Mr. Irrelevant is Carlos Sainz. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't even really feel like Carlos Sainz is in F1 right now, given how little he is doing anything of note during Grand Prix weekends. He's currently in P16 with just 16 points halfway through the F1 season, while his teammate is all the way up in P8, meaning it is not all the car, though I'm sure it's difficult to downgrade to a Williams after years of driving a Ferrari. Hopefully Carlos can figure it out in the second half of the season, because F1 is more fun when the smooth operator is in the mix. Next, the Bony Award for What's Going On goes to Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli. After a super impressive start to his F1 career that included 5 top 6 results in the first 6 races and a sprint pole, Kimi then hit a rough patch of 3 races where he didn't finish higher than P18. Then, he became the first rookie to finish on the podium since 2017, and then he hit another rough patch, during which he's only scored 1 point in the last 4 Grand Prix weekends. This inconsistency is super wild after his very consistent start to the season, and I'm very curious to see how Kimi attacks the second half of the season, given the form with which he ended the first half of it. Also, if you have not yet watched The Seat on Netflix, that is one of the best shot sports documentaries I've ever seen. Some of the shots in that documentary are literally beautiful, and I wanted to tear up. Go watch it. Finally today, the Bony Award for 2025's eventual World Drivers' Champion goes to both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Yes, I am not picking one or the other because, quite frankly, I don't want to be wrong. And I know that whichever one I pick is not going to be right. And I don't want to be a jinx. What I do know is that one of these dudes is going to be crowned 2025's World Drivers' Champion, which is pretty crazy to think about considering where both of them were back at the start of 2023. And by that, I mean near the bottom of the grid because the 2023 McLaren car started off awful. I honestly could not predict which of these dudes is going to go on and win, even if I was J-Bone and not L-Bone. And that hopefully is a sign that we have an unbelievable second half of the F1 season incoming. Psst, I think it's going to be Oscar. Toss me a subscription now and ring that notification bell so that you'll get my F1 summer break videos all F1 summer break long right when they drop. And while you're doing that, don't forget to like this video so that YouTube likes me, Elbone, more. Special shout out to my top YouTube channel members: Joe Max's Number 1 Hater Snow, Brian Linton, Wolfslove's Racing, Waffleopicus, Melissa Cruz, Elmore Zuber, The Tater, and David Hey! Mash that join button just below this video to get your name shouted out right there in future videos. And if you want to join 1,000 plus F1 fans in the free to join Formula Bone Discord community, you can go do that through the join link in the description. Until next time, folks, Elbone! Elbone!